Southern California, welcome to Money Matters with Dino. Saturdays from noon to 1, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150. Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Money Matters with Dino, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150.
Welcome to Money Matters with Dino, the most important hour of radio for Southern Californians every week. My name is Dino Katsiametis, and I want to thank you for joining today's conversation. Sounds like a bold thing to say, the most important hour of radio. But if you're listening right now, I guarantee that by the time this show is over, you'll have learned something valuable. If you go to our website, moneymatterswithdino.com, you'll see the tagline, from your estate to real estate, where your money matters. That title sums up what our show is all about. It's about money, your money. My goal and purpose for this show is to educate you regarding your money. And that can be anything from buying and selling homes to the stock market or even starting a business. How do I do this? I seek out top professionals in the marketplace, and I have them share their years of experience and knowledge with you. Now, I know real estate, and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I even have knowledge in some other fields, but I don't consider myself an expert in all areas of business. Therefore, on this show, I bring you respected professionals that are experts in their fields because it's critical to me that I provide you with accurate and up-to-date information. And I take that very seriously. Before I get into what we have in store for you today, I want to share with you this week's words of wisdom. The first rule of any technology used in business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. Bill Gates said that. And if you think about it, and I know just from my own business and the lending practice, you can be automated and you can have all sorts of systems, but at the end of the day, if you're not efficient in what you do, all it's going to do is make you look worse, because you got to be able to keep up with automation. And that's the thing with automation. It's always forward moving, and a lot of people just don't keep up with what it does. And sometimes it's not supposed to take over your business. It's supposed to complement what you actually do. Like I mentioned before, my expertise is in growing and managing wealth using the vehicle of real estate. Having decades of experience and extensive knowledge in helping people with their real estate needs has convinced me that real estate is still one of the many and best ways to grow a steady and secure portfolio of wealth. But it's not the only one. And that's why I call the show Money Matters. The other, and I think the greater reason, is that money affects your quality of life. Every financial decision you make affects every aspect of your life, from where you live to how you live. And if you're a family man like me, it also affects if and where your kids will go to college. Think about that. Every financial decision you make today will affect your quality of life tomorrow. Decisions that will affect what neighborhood you live in and what schools your kids will go to. If your kids will be able to play an organized sport or even learn an instrument. I know that sounds silly, but it's not. All of these things cost money. I know as well as anybody does that you don't want to say no because of money, but too many of us have to too much of the time. Money, when managed properly, will enable you to say yes. And more importantly, understanding money, whether it's in the stock market, real estate, or stuffed under your mattress, can protect you from turbulent times like we recently experienced in the past few years. Here's something I love to say, and you're going to hear me say it often, and this is coming from a guy that loves real estate. Don't just get real estate rich, get rich, and we're going to teach you how. I hope you enjoy the show. Co-hosting with me today is Phil Giagrande.
Oh, I like the way you said that.
It's because I said it right, huh?
Nice. Yeah, not really, but still, I like the way you said that.
What do you mean I didn't say it right?
It's John Grande. Say it one more time. Come on, let's hear it.
Phil John Grande.
Nice.
How do they say it? How do they say it in Italy?
I have no idea. I've never been.
How do they say it in New York?
John Grande.
How does your uncle say it?
Which uncle?
I don't know. I know my last name. Everybody says 3 different ways.
Oh, well, good point.
I like Jean Grande. Makes it sound a little more Italian.
A little more French, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, go ahead.
All right, well, we'll move on. You know, I think I'm doing the French thing because of one of our guests here today, Jean-Paul Bernstein from Emarcom. Did I pronounce Emarcom? This guy's a marketing guru specializing in text and mobile marketing strategies. Also, we have returning for the third time, Brian Liberto from Versailles Realty in Newport Beach. And he's got a unique understanding of technology and how he relates it to his real estate business. And in our next segment, they will be joining us in our discussion with our panel of experts. Today, we're addressing the extremely important topic of using technology to market your business. Don't miss out on that discussion. As always, our last segment, the Ask Dino segment, is where Phil will ask me questions that you, the listener, have either emailed us or Facebooked us. And I'll do my best to use my personal experience and extensive knowledge in answering those questions accurately and correctly and in a simple way that you can understand it. Now, if you have any questions for me or would like to get in touch with any of my guests here today, call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or you can look us up online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Use us as your resource for wealth. This segment is brought to you by DLS Transportation. It's a limo company, an aviation company, yacht. I mean, pretty much any high-end thing you want to rent, they'll rent it to you. They got Phantoms. They got Bentleys.
These are the kind of people we need on our show. Now we're talking.
Well, these are the kind of people that bring us up here every week. It's awesome.
Cool.
You know what, though? I don't know why they don't stock our limo with booze. They tell me they do it for everybody else, but they don't put it in our limo.
Because they know.
I guess so.
Uh-huh.
All right, Phil. So what are we talking about today?
Well, here's something interesting from an article I found on enterpriseefficiency.com. It says brick and mortar retailers are finding it necessary to seek out new methods to close the sale for customers who enter their stores. There are clear benefits to owning storefronts as customers can see and interact with products with their own eyes. The real challenge is getting those same customers to actually purchase products as opposed to ordering them online. Retail stores are looking to leverage technology, the use of mobile device management inside stores to provide customers a more personalized experience that hopefully will translate into increased sales. Mobile device management, which is MDM, is a generic term that encompasses smartphone and tablet management, security, and data distribution in the form of mobile apps. Enterprise-class MDM solutions help system administrators with the challenges that come along with distributing data and applications to a wide range of mobile devices and operating systems. With retail, the goal is to track your customers' phone use to provide a uniform experience no matter what the end user device is. This is far easier said than done. It's also absolutely critical on the retail business as you don't want to alienate some customers just because they use a less popular mobile OS. The whole point of me reading that is that it's already happening. Like if you walk into a Mac store, you can do almost, people will walk up to you. You can buy pretty much anything just standing in front of the store. They can have it boxed up and it's all done on their tablets or on their phones, and they scan the barcode right there. You don't have to even go up to the.
Actually, it's one more than that. Last time I was there, the guy downloaded an app on my iPhone,
right?
And he said if it's not one of the big items, you can just go to the shelf, scan it in on your own phone, pay for it.
Oh my God.
And walk out.
Oh my God!
Yeah, literally.
So you're just they're not even going to need people there anymore.
You don't even need to go them.
That sounds good.
Of course,
I
have yet to do it because I feel like I'm stealing somehow. Like, like, is it authorized? Is it done? Did I do this properly?
Yeah. Well, this is why I use credit cards everywhere I go, because it never feels like cash. So I'm like, they gave it to me for free. It's on this plastic card. It's nothing.
Okay, so anybody listening, that's probably not good advice. Like you should,
maybe not.
Don't put everything on your cards.
All right, that's fine.
And then there's other stuff too, where I guess you can walk by a retail store and you can use your smartphone and like they'll text you what the specials are if you plug in a number or something.
Oh yeah.
So you don't even have to go in.
There's so much, and that's the point. Like, this is where business is going. If you're not keeping up on mobile technology and how to apply it to your business, or social media or web marketing, you are basically a dinosaur. And so that's why we're kind of doing this show the way we're doing it today. We're going to bring on the guys and just go crazy on information technology.
Well, and there's actually some really good stuff. I know Jean-Michel, I want to keep calling him the IT guy, but he's a lot more than that. He's a major marketing guru. He's got this text to phone, I think is what he called it. Mm-hmm. So I felt really impressed because I got this text message. So anybody out there can text me. Text the word Dino to 313131. You can basically ask me any question you want. I'll get it. I'll get it as a text, which is awesome.
But will you answer it?
Yes, of course I will.
Okay.
But he's got this new thing. He one-upped me, and he's like, oh, no, you know what? You're driving. You're not supposed to be texting. He's like, just punch in #250 and just speak the keyword. So you can say Dino in your phone, and then all of a sudden, all the information that I want somebody to know about me will just be texted to them.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow,
but you know what? Let's save that because I think he'll probably do a much better job telling us the truth about how all that works. So you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions about anything you've heard today, or you'd like to inquire about a refinance or purchase of a home, give me a call. I'm at 949-720-1616, and let me help you make the best real estate decisions for you and your family. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by DLS Transportation. It's a high-end limo, aviation, yacht company that pretty much, again, anything expensive. If you don't want to buy it, rent it, and these are the guys that'll help you out. Coming up after the break, we have our panel discussion with the experts. Joining us today is Jean-Paul Bernstein from Emarcom and Brian Liberto from Versailles Property down in Newport Beach. While you're waiting, think about your financial goals and ask yourself, am I thinking like an entrepreneur in a way that will make me truly wealthy? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When it comes to purchasing or refinancing your home, turn to someone with experience, CHL Mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing the home of your dreams, or refinancing. The team of mortgage specialists at CHL Mortgage provide you with superior knowledge and service. Their ultimate goal? Getting the highest quality loan at low rates. Their second goal? To create a lasting relationship with every client and continue to provide excellent service for years to come. If you're looking to purchase or refinance, call the experts at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Get additional details at www.chl.cc or call their office at 888-814-3335.
Alliance Portfolio is a licensed real estate broker. California DRE broker license 01868859 NMLS 324460.
Are you looking to diversify or add real estate secured investments to your portfolio? Did you know that investing in trust deeds can provide a better return with better security than many other alternate investments? For over 20 years, Alliance Portfolio has been providing the highest quality mortgage fund and trust deed investment opportunities with first-class service and communication. Alliance Portfolio offers well underwritten loans, low loan-to-value ratios, and all secured by prime Southern California coastal community real estate. At Alliance Portfolio, we don't just lend money, we lend our expertise. Call 949-349-1322 today to capitalize on a special opportunity. That's 949-349-1322. Investors, when our job is done, your job is easy. Sit back and capitalize. 949-349-1322.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guests, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by Alliance Portfolio, high-yield, low-risk investment funds utilizing Southern California real estate. Joining us today in our discussion panel with the experts are Jean-Paul Bernstein from Emarcom and Brian Liberto from Versailles Properties. Today we're talking about using technology to market your business. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, Brian, I'm going to get to you after because you're the biggest talker here in the group. And
Dino, I need all the time possible.
I know. So I'm going to be talking a little extra fast today just so I can leave a few extra minutes for you at the end.
It's all about me.
But before we get to all about you, I'm going to bring on, since you're a returning guest, I'm going to talk to our new guy here, Jean-Michel. And your last name is Bernstein, so I'm real curious. You got a French mom, I'm guessing, and a Jewish dad.
Yeah, I had my dad was a doctor and doing some research in Geneva, Switzerland. You know, a little general hospital. My mom was a nurse. They met, and here I am. So
that's what your dad called it, is research.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever works, right?
And tell us what you do. Like, what's your specialty?
Emarcom is an interactive marketing company, and basically what we do is we help businesses connect to consumers or other businesses using web, using mobile, using pretty much all the technologies that are out there.
And earlier we were talking about this text to phone, and I want to dive more into that a little bit later. But that's something that you've been using a lot of now recently, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There tend to be better and better tools that are developed on a daily basis for mobile marketing. Mobile marketing is becoming such a massive play for advertisers, for business owners, for anybody who's trying to sell anything to anybody. If you don't have a mobile presence, a true mobile presence, you're just missing the boat.
Okay, great. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it. Mr. Brian Liberto.
Yes, Dino, thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Is this my first and last time?
It's definitely not your first time. Okay. And I hope it won't be your last. So just remember who the host is of this show, okay?
I do. Thank you very much.
So, Brian, tell us about what you do. You're down in Newport Beach.
Yes.
Right? But do you sell outside of Newport at all?
I do. The majority of my business is focused on buyer-seller representation throughout Orange County, specifically Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, in the beach cities, and a little bit of development work in those areas too.
And you have a lot of, I guess, rental property or investment properties that you buy for people as well, right?
Correct. I have a core focus of doing vacation rentals on the peninsula, and what they do is they rent them out on a bi-weekly and daily basis. And so I have a core business of investors that focus on stuff like that. So.
And for those of you that don't know what that is, obviously you can buy an investment property and rent it out, but what Brian's talking about is down in the coastal communities, there's people that actually pay what one would normally pay for that same property for an entire month during the winter. During the summertime, they'll pay for that on a weekly basis.
It's
right?
almost equal what you do on a monthly basis versus a weekly basis. So if you would rent out for $4,000 a month, you can do that for $4,000 a week on the sand in Newport Beach. And for a family, what would it take to stay in a hotel for 7 days? What's the cost of that versus staying 7 days on the beach on the sand, where you have 4 bedrooms and a car and food, and you can cook and go to the beach and stuff like that. So.
Which for families, I'm assuming is a much better way to go, right? You're not going to do room service every day.
Lot lower cost, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's more comfortable. Like if you have your kids, and they're just a lot more comfortable than some small little 600-foot room on the Ritz-Carlton or something.
So if you've thought about buying an investment property, this is actually a real interesting way to go, because it does cost a little bit more, but the return can be much, much greater. And Brian's an expert at that. So make sure you go to our website. You'll be able to find his information there and contact him anytime. And our website is moneymatterswithdino.com. All right, guys, we have a bunch of questions here. So let me just start throwing them out, and first person to answer. Okay, so in the last segment, we were talking about the Mac store and how they use technology. Jean-Michel, tell me about what you think of texting, and how is this like good for business? What kind of information do they capture? What's it used for?
Texting is really an effective tool for businesses. It depends on the type of business. Retailers are really they get the best benefit from the texting. The thing is when we leave the house, we leave with 3 things: the keys, the wallet, and the phone. So the phone is always near us. If you look at some of the statistics that are floating out there, most people, their phone is within an arm's reach 24 hours a day. So the thing about texting that trumps an email is husbands or fathers or whatever, you're always, when you get that text message, you're always checking it out. Is it the wife? Is it the kid? Is it the whatever? So whereas you might check your email when you get to it, when you have a text message, you're always going to look at your phone just to see what it is.
Well, it blows you up. You don't really have the option. I mean, it's right there.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. So if you opt into a list and you say, hey, when you have a special deal, let me know about it. Let's say your favorite restaurant on Tuesdays, they're slow. The restaurant will send out a text message saying, hey, everybody, come down tonight. And 2 for 1 or free appetizer or whatever the case is. It's real time. People always check their phones right away when it's a text message, and email doesn't have that same sense of urgency.
Okay, next question. How does it work? It's not like spam where all of a sudden you get texts from businesses and that you've never heard of, right? I mean, you have to like opt in somehow, right?
Oh, big time. Yeah. There were some cases where some people would buy cell phone lists and send text messages to these people, and they found themselves with a $7 million lawsuit. So,
I tried that and it didn't work.
Oh, okay, very good. So you're still paying that bill, right?
Well, I was under a different name, but okay.
And this is interesting because Brian, who's in real estate, I got a text message from him a couple nights ago, and it was just simple. Just I think like 3 properties that you just finished selling, just to let everybody know kind of what the prices are going for in that neighborhood.
Yeah, after I tried the first route of buying all the texts and it didn't work, I started to focus just on my sphere of influence. And so I have about 250 people that I text on a basically bi-monthly or every 3-week basis, giving them an update on just listed properties, just sold properties, just reduced or in escrow. And it just keeps my name out there and kind of promotes my brand. And a lot of my consumers, some of the consumers aren't, receiving emails. Some are even on Facebook, a lot of the businessmen. So they actually appreciate it because they're always on that phone all the time.
So whoever can answer this, I'm assuming you, Jean-Michel, since the other guys used to ripping people off in the wrong way. I want to hear the right way to do things. The right way to do it. So now, what is short code and keywords and all? What does that mean?
It's just business. It's just jargon. The short code is the phone number that you use to dial to. So in your case, it's 313131. So instead of dialing your cell phone number, you just dial 313131.
So for those of you that don't know what that is, so I actually started doing this recently as well, where while we're here on the radio, instead of phone calling me, so if you're in the car and you can't dial or you can't remember the number because it's too long, you can actually just text the word Dino and whatever question you have to 313131. It's just real simple. So you can either just text Dino and then contact me later because you'll get a text right back from me. But what's the other like short code? What is that the same thing?
The short code is the phone number. The keyword is the actual. Think of it like a database. I kind of get nerdy quickly, but each keyword could be a campaign. So let's say in Brian's case, he has a property on the peninsula and he wants to promote it with one particular keyword. He can do that. Well, let's say he has another property somewhere else. He can use another keyword. So that now he's got 2 different databases that he can market to specifically based on that interest. So it just really
that's interesting. Well, that makes sense. So if you just jumped into your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino, and here you go. You can either call me at 949-720-1616, or you can just text the word Dino, D-I-N-O, to 313131. It's pretty simple. Text the word Dino to 313131, and I'll get back to you. So what about cost? Is there any additional cost to the people receiving the text?
Well, the texting is just basically on your plan. Most people have unlimited texting plans these days, but for those who don't, it counts as a text credit. So every time they receive or send a text, it's going to count against their bucket of text messages. And then from a business perspective, if you're using some kind of texting platform to send, usually there's some kind of monthly fee to have the whole back-end office to manage the numbers and so forth.
But I would say that's relatively very cheap for and how effective it is. A lot of these consumers or people I have are very high-net business people, and the majority of them don't care if they're getting a text every once in a while. But the cost to send that text out, I don't even have it in front of me, was less than $150 to send out 250 texts to high-net-worth people that said, hey, thanks, man, good luck. And then I had a ratio of, I sent out less than 8% unsubscribed. So to me, that was pretty good. And so it wasn't inappropriate at all. So,
and the nice thing about having your own text database is that it's your list. You're not at the mercy of the Googles of the world for people to find you on the internet in order to get a hold of you. This is your list. So you can market it as you please. Typically, you don't want to send out more than a message a week. Depends on what the campaign is. And also be sensitive to people. Don't send messages at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, just use your common sense, usually during business hours.
And as far as this gets more and more popular, I'm assuming people are going to start misusing it. Is it easy for the customer to opt out of something like that?
Yeah, any good system, as long as you just reply with stop, it'll automatically take you out of the database. It's not to say that you won't get messages sent to you from some Eastern Bloc country or whatever the case is, and you can't really control anything about that. But a legitimate company, they'll have a regular opt-out system.
Well, that makes sense. And then tell me about your text to phone, which is basically when you speak it instead of
it's a cool program. Basically, you dial #250 from your cell phone. So it's the number sign or the hash key and 250. And then it basically dials a number for you. And now it becomes an interactive voice recognition system. And so you'll dial the #250. The operator will come online and they'll say your keyword. You can say the word Irvine. You can say the word banana. There's a couple different samples that I've got. And what's nice is that before you even hang up the phone, you'll receive a text message to your phone. And the text message will have a link to a mobile landing page. And then on that mobile landing page, you have some kind of contact form. So it's just a really nice way to get a hold of people, because, we're not supposed to be texting and driving, and I don't condone that. So it's better that you use pound 250.
Just a little disclaimer.
Disclosure.
Don't text and drive.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit now. Now that we've covered the whole texting aspect of it, how about SEO? I mean, it's a massive search engine optimization but what does it mean? How does it work?
Search engine optimization is an art. It's not a science. I mean, it's Google. Google's a big player. They manage most of the search results, and we all know this, but they change the way they do things on a daily basis. I've heard the algorithm change 30 times in 1 month. So, but search engine optimization basically is when you go to Google and you type in mortgage, we want your website to pop up number 1 position. Well, you're not the only one that wants to do that, so you have a whole bunch of other people that are doing the same thing. So there's a whole bunch of different tactics that you can use. They even have the tactics labeled as either black hat or white hat tactics. It's almost like special ops type stuff. You do not, as a business owner, hear me straight, do not use black hat search engine optimization tactics. It will, as soon as Google finds it, they will bury your URL so far down, nobody will find you. Your mom won't even be able to find you. So, but search engine optimization is kind of a subset of search engine marketing. Search engine marketing includes all the social media plays, the Facebooks, the LinkedIn, all that. And there's deals with keywords. You can increase your search engine optimization with the use of video, with photography, with the images, the way that the images are labeled on your website. There's just a lot of different ways to do it.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions at all about either anything you've heard here today, or you just want to talk to me about your mortgage, give us a call at 949-720-1616 and let us help you. Although we're not talking about real estate today, I do want to remind you that I am a mortgage broker, and this is a very complicated market, for both buyers and sellers. Therefore, my recommendation is to put together a team that really knows the industry, knows your market, and understands your needs. If you'd like me to help you put that team together, give me a call. I'm at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We'll be right back after the break and continue our panel discussion with the experts. Think about how you can use this information to make the most from the fast-paced economy. After all, we're here to help you become real estate wealthy. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guest, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. You can also check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, bringing you low rates, specials on closing costs, and exceptional service. Okay, so we're in the middle of our discussion panel with the experts, and if you're just tuning in, we're having an incredible discussion today about using technology to market your business. Of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can go to moneymatterswithdino.com and check it out online. We'll have it there hopefully by Sunday or Monday at the latest. And with me today, we have Jean-Paul Bernstein from Emarcom and Brian Liberto from Versailles Real Estate. So, guys, we were talking about texting. We were talking about SEO. What about pay-per-click? What's that about? And I know Brian, you just brought something that was pretty interesting. Why don't you start?
Well, pay-per-click, I actually start buying certain words, and I had a.
But actually, before you go into that, tell us what it is.
Well, pay-per-click is a way to buy different words on the right-hand side of the Google page that associate with beach or beachfront property, oceanfront property, homes on the sand, and so I bought those. I bought those types of words, and they put in on the right-hand side where someone to click on my site, buy beachfront property today. And so I actually had a guy in Japan. He was an analyst, and click on it, got on my site, went right to my phone. I emailed him back right away because returning that quickly is very, very important. And we actually, over a 6-month period, negotiated a $2.2 million deal. 90% of it all done over the phone. He was watching every number, looking at we analyzed every single number from beachfront to bayfront. And over 6 months, we ended up closing on a $2.2 million deal. He flew into town, signed loan docs in Japan, flew into town for the final walkthrough, and I moved his family in 2 weeks later. It was actually pretty cool. It's really fun. It was right down the street from my house.
There's a perfect example how you're using technology. I mean, not only did you sell to a guy in Japan, but the entire transaction was basically done in Japan.
Yeah, and it actually was a seamless transaction. We did, not that whole transaction, but most of my transactions are all done through DocuSign. I don't even touch any paper whatsoever in the transaction. I can actually sit in front of a buyer and a seller and sit there with an iPad and DocuSign all the entire agreements together at once. And the benefit to that is less paper, less headaches. Did you get my fax? Did you sign this? Blah, 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 blah. Everyone has an excuse. But everyone signs. And at that point, everyone gets a copy of the fully executed agreement. The buyer, the seller, escrow, and title all right there gets a fully executed agreement. So a seamless transaction can be all done on an iPad if you get everyone to agree to do that.
That's fantastic. So was it beginner's luck on 2.2 million, or have you been having this kind of success?
No, I don't want to hear everyone to think it's easy. It was, I got a little lucky that it was a person, and we kind of hit it off, and I developed a relationship, and over time you realize I was really working for his benefit, and it's not that easy. I got a little lucky, and I'm thankful for it. So.
Jean-Michel, what do you think? I mean, do you recommend pay-per-clicks, or do you think the majority of the time they're just it's overdone now?
Well, a lot of the internet users have been trained almost to not click on the pay-per-click. They always say, "Hey, look at the organic," because that's really where the traffic's at, and those are the people that are really working hard to get their websites up there. But quite frankly, a lot of pay-per-click campaigns are just done wrong. People are using keywords that people aren't even looking for. And it's so funny. People say, well, hey, I got this great URL. It's xyz.com. It's like, yeah, well, in the xyz.com space, there's 500 million web pages that exist there, and it costs $22 per click to get anybody to click on your name, and it's just wasted money, So really, if it's not to say that pay-per-click's not good. It can be extremely good. You just have to do it right, and just find a good consultant, a good person to do that.
I kind of want to jump in and follow up on that. Is there like a reverse engineering that you can do to figure out what people are clicking on, how much, and why?
Yeah, Google's got some great tools on there, keyword tools that allow you to you come up with a word and you say, well, I wonder how many people are looking up this. And typically what you want to do is find what people are looking for and give them what they want. I mean,
and look at the cost, though, because sometimes
exactly.
14,000 people want beachfront property. I'm like, looks like I'm not buying that keyword.
And I don't know who said this, but there's definitely riches and niches, and you really need to find what people are looking for, what makes sense. And if the keyword is really hot and there's a lot of activity, that's not to say stay away from it, but you've got to incorporate that in a nice way. Be smart about how you set up your campaign. You don't. If you're not in the office between 5 p.m. and 8 a.m., why would you have your campaign running? So I mean, there's little things that you could set up that there's no sense in getting a pay-per-click at midnight if nobody's there to get the call.
That's really great advice. And if you are listening and you need some of that advice, because I know a lot of you think you know everything, but that world out there is much larger than any of us could ever imagine. So I highly suggest, paying somebody for at least some good advice. And there's people out there that can save you a lot of money if you just pay them a little bit. And Jean-Michel is one of them. You can find his information on our websites, moneymatterswithdino.com, or you can even call me direct at 949-720-1616. I'll put you in touch with them. All right, so we've discussed a few different aspects of it now. What about the actual website? How important is it to have a flashy website, or does it not even matter? Should it be a little more plain and easier, filled with content, or just more simple?
Today, content is king. You really, really need to have content on your website. The website's got to have some kind of proposition to the end user for them to actually want to come back to your website. Gone are the days of, hey, this is my brochure online, because that's not going to sell anymore. Websites have to have call to actions. They have to be engaging. They have to be relevant. Some of the buzzwords out there is just to make sure that your website is mobile optimized. And I'm not talking about mobile friendly. People talk about this mobile friendly idea where, well, I can pinch and zoom and see the website. Well, the end user doesn't want to have to do that. So if you create a true mobile website with big buttons and big text and not a whole bunch of content on there, that's the kind of website that an end user will like to use.
And I can touch upon that. I think you'll see the future of real estate advertising is there going to be mobile hotspots, and all the hotspots is people are going to say, all over Orange County Airport, let's buy all the keywords for luxury real estate, beachfront property. And then when the consumers go in and they're sitting there on their phone before they get on their plane, that's the best time for them to be looking for property. And then they go, that site has to be optimized for that Droid or whatever, phone it's on. And then it says, hey, now we captured their information. Then you can start texting or emailing them information from there.
I saw a classic misuse of QR codes, or they used to be hotter than they are now. They're still effective. But I remember seeing a Tag Heuer 2-page advertisement in Fortune magazine. You scan the QR code and it took you to a regular website. Right. That's like running down the football field. Nobody's in front of you, and you just step out of bounds at 99. I mean, it's just stupid. So if you're going to do mobile, you have to do mobile. You just got to do it right, because if you misstep and the end user thinks that you didn't think about them, they'll just go to the next one.
Done. Yeah.
All right. So something that I'd say the vast majority of the world is on right now is probably Facebook, social media. And Brian, I know you're somewhat of a master at social media. I mean, I get bombarded with your stuff. No, I'm just joking. But what I'm saying is you're kind of, you've touched upon, you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, I think you're on Twitter. And you got all the aspects covered. How do you find time, first of all, to do that?
Well, I have a couple assistants. I do have a couple assistants that do it, so it's somewhat automated. But to be brutally honest, if you're not who you are on Facebook, they're not going to buy from you. Okay, people buy from me because of my content, and people buy from me from what I promote and myself and my services. In old school real estate days, it's go knock on doors, send out 14,000 mailers, buy from me. Oh my God, call that greedy realtor, let them make money. Today, it's about what value are you bringing to that client? How can you save them money? And I do that through social farming. Social farming is done through my social media connections. I have over 7,500 social media connections I touch on a daily basis to help promote and market my listings, promote and market my buyers, help them find property, and my name. So that's how I get in front of these customers with social media versus old school days is just a lot different.
And it's
and get you loans too, Dino, by the way.
I know, and I do appreciate those referrals. Okay. But that's why I called you, because when we decided to do this topic, I actually, going through Facebook, I realized, Brian Liberto is this guy that really has this part down, and he structures it in a way where it doesn't piss you off, where you don't want to delete him, because I think the biggest mistake novice people make is they overdo it. And people get tired of it.
What I do, and I have, I think, almost 3,000 people in a Facebook group, and I kind of open it up to allow other people to be in there, and I have to kind of watch what content's on it. But I'll put something like a picture of the beach and in this $8 million home, and just sees the picture of the beach, and it says, "Where am I?" And everyone's like, "Oh my God, I know where that's at. Oh my God, that's a great beach. Oh, I want to get there." So it creates interaction, in return associates me with real estate, helps make the phone ring, and helps Dino get a loan. So.
Being that you're in your car most likely and you're not able to see Brian Liberto right now, I gotta tell you, he's hilarious. He's like halfway down. He's got his hands up in the air, and he's just full of movement here. So honestly, if you want a real estate agent that's going to work hard for you and be honest with you, Brian Liberto is that guy.
I just realized how nice we have to be to Brian now. Now that I understand how much
You're
business
going to need me.
Just
Yeah, no, that's why I love the guy. He refers the people over to me for the loans.
Yeah. Just kidding.
All right, so I'm good at Facebook.
Yeah.
I think I understand it. Just because of my own personal preferences, I can't stand all the advertising.
Yeah.
When I go to Facebook, it's because I want to see what somebody's doing. Right?
Yeah.
It's social. So I know for the show, we have Money Matters with Dino Facebook page, but I try very hard to not put advertisement like stuff on there. I put pictures up. I put fun stuff. I put pictures of us here in the studio all the time because it's social media, right?
Yeah.
It's not business media. LinkedIn, I think, is more for the business side
Totally
of it.
different concept, but different audience.
Now, I suck at Twitter, and really, I think the only other person that sucks more at Twitter than me is Phil.
I've got like 4 or 5 followers or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I got a bunch, but I don't even know how I'm getting them, and I don't really know what's happening. But and it's all just like there's no picture, there's no. So I don't know if I'm missing the boat on that one. I don't really get it. I just set it up that when I post it on Facebook, it automatically goes to Twitter.
Right. And it's probably, I did that at first, the beginning, but the reality is your Facebook audience is different than your Twitter audience, which is also way different than your LinkedIn audience, which is also different than your Pinterest audience. So it's just like when you're in your room talking to everyone here, you need to know what your agenda or how you would talk to them. You have to focus on, what's beneficial to them and what's their agenda. So like I have a group at San Diego State, and all I do is I automate information on San Diego State basketball to them, and they love it. I don't even talk about real estate on it.
Where do you? That's on LinkedIn?
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Over 850 people get automated LinkedIn updates from me. I don't even do anything. It's all done through my software, and they love it. So
what software is that?
Call me after.
All right, and then okay, so let's go back to Twitter because I still don't get it. So there's a lot of like keyword hash tags and all this other stuff. How does that work?
It's an easy way to bring information fast and quick little 20 sentence information on a topic, and it's not my core focus, but a lot of people do it.
So I can't even read somebody's message anymore because it's all like symbols and this and that. And I don't even know what they're trying to say.
The thing about Twitter is it's almost like a micro press release platform. You want to say something, say it quick. It's great for news agencies. It's great for the Hollywood people and all this stuff. And there's a great business application to it. But it like Brian said, it's a different audience than your Facebook, than your LinkedIn, and so forth. So you can't use it wrong. You got to use it right.
So Brian wouldn't answer this question for me earlier, but with all this social media and stuff that's going on, I mean, how do you manage all that time? And since Brian, you wouldn't answer, I'm just going to ask my other guest here, Jean-Michel.
There's a way to automate all of your certain social feeds by providing them information where I have a piece of software automates it to LinkedIn, to Facebook, and to my fan page where you pick certain content for certain things and certain times. There's a piece of software. It's called Deliver It. You can Google it and use it, but you also have to know how it works. Just like Hub's was it HubSpeed or something?
Hootsuite.
It's a way to automate your post, and I do it, and so everyone thinks I'm all, my God, Brian's online all the time. All right, I'm not online all the time. I'm sitting back here trying to close complicated real estate transactions that I make look easy. So.
You heard it. You're listening. If you're listening right now, if you have any questions, either for myself or my guests, give us a call at 949-720-1616. Pick up a pen and write this number down. Don't wait. That's 949-720-1616. Once again, if you want to tap into this incredible resource of experts that I have on the show every week, pick up a pen right now. Write this number down. It's 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We're here to help you increase your wealth by giving you the knowledge necessary to put the right team of professionals together who you can trust and like to work with. Once again, pick up the phone and give us a call at 949-720-1616, or you can even text the keyword Dino to 313131, or you can look us up online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment was brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, bringing you low rates, specials on closing costs, and exceptional service. Stick around. We'll be right back with the Ask Dino segment, where we're going to answer a bunch of your listener questions.
Alliance Portfolio is a licensed real estate broker. California DRE broker license 01868859, NMLS 324460.
Are you looking to diversify or add real estate secured investments to your portfolio? Did you know that investing in trust deeds can provide a better return with better security than many other alternate investments? For over 20 years, Alliance Portfolio has been providing the highest quality mortgage fund and trust deed investment opportunities with first-class service and communication. Alliance Portfolio offers well underwritten loans, low loan-to-value ratios, and all secured by prime Southern California coastal community real estate. At Alliance Portfolio, we don't just lend money, we lend our expertise. Call 949-349-1322 today to capitalize on a special opportunity. That's 949-349-1322. Investors, when our job is done, your job is easy. Sit back and capitalize. 949-349-1322.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435. Or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Thank you for hanging with us. This is Money Matters with Dino, and I'm your host, Dino Katsiametis, and I'm here to give you the tools and information to build a secure and strong portfolio using real estate and other investment tools. If you have any questions and want to get a hold of me or any of my guests here today, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This next segment is brought to you by CDA Law Center, expert loan modifications with decades of legal experience in real estate. All right, Phil, so I know we don't have a bunch of time, but this Ask Dino segment is one of my favorite ones because it's what the listeners are asking me on a weekly basis, that we try and answer all of them on our show here.
We try and get to all of them, but usually we don't, actually.
Well, I know, but the ones that we don't, I do get back to them personally. So just go ahead and get on Facebook. You can either private message or just put it right there on the wall, or you can email us, and we'll get right back to you.
All right. I'm going to fire them out now. Here we go. Is it better to do a 5% conventional loan or an FHA loan now that the PMI has gone up? Ooh, good question.
Typically, my response is, if I make more money on a deal, it's probably not the best one for you to do. So therefore, if you can do a conventional loan and you qualify for it, it is almost always better to do a conventional. You'll save more money, even though the rates are a little higher in conventional versus the government loans like FHA. The PMI and all the other ridiculous stuff they tack on there is just, it's so costly. So ultimately, if you can put 5% down, but even conventional now they have 3% down, and you qualify, go for it. You're gonna save yourself a lot of money.
Now, is it harder to qualify for a 5% versus like a normal 20%, or well, the more you put down, the easier it is to qualify? Okay, all right, stupid question.
But
never mind.
But it is harder to qualify for a conventional loan because they only allow a 45% debt to income ratio versus FHA allows a 55%. So you can have more debt and still qualify and put less money down. Go figure.
Okay. I came into some money and I wanted to pay down my loan, but I was told by the bank that there was a prepayment penalty. Is there anything I could do?
So according to contract, no. I mean, you signed a deal, right? However, these days there's very few, and usually none, no prepayment penalties. I mean, they're looked poorly upon now, so the banks don't do them very often. But with the change in today's climate in the loan industry, you can call and see if you can renegotiate, because nobody wants that bad press. So I would always call the bank and try and get out of it.
Okay. My plan is to buy the building that the restaurant my wife and I own is in. How difficult is it to get a commercial loan, and how long should it take for a commercial loan to close?
So, good question. Commercial loans are significantly different than getting a residential loan. You typically have to have a lot more money down. It's a lot more costly. For example, an appraisal on a home would probably cost like $400. On a commercial property, depending on how big it is and what kind of property it is, $2,000-$3,000. And the banks many times need you to pay money up front. Like you got to put the money up, because they're not going to go through the due diligence and actually underwrite the file and put the work out until they get paid. Versus residential loans, you don't have to. Now, if you own the business and you're going to be working, the property that you own, basically, you may qualify for an SBA loan. And that is a whole different, story. Interest rates are great, low money down. That's a real good way to go. But you got to have owner-occupied status there.
Nice. My mother-in-law passed away and left us with a house outside of San Francisco. Should we sell or rent it out for a few more years to let the market recover?
So the market is recovering in a very big way. It's rapidly growing, increasing in pricing. And yeah, I mean, personally, if you can afford it, I would keep the property for a few more years. I bet you anything you'll make a pretty hefty, profit in the next 2 years. If you just jumped into your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. We can be reached at 949-720-1616, or you can even text the word Dino to 313131, or obviously check us out online or Facebook at Money Matters with Dino.
Okay, here's a few more. I want to put together a real estate investing group. What's the best way to do this?
Obviously, you can go to a couple buddies, just get some money together, and you go out and try and find property. There's a lot of tricky stuff there. Even if you're friends or family, I highly suggest putting together something legal, like an LLC or some sort of a trust or something. But I really would seek legal counsel there, because there's way too many pitfalls and way too many things that you don't foresee happening that can and very well may happen. So highly suggest seeking an attorney's help on that.
Okay. I wanted to get pre-qualified, but it turns out my credit score is in the low 600s. What should I do?
Pay your bills. Don't be late. Get your credit score up and start doing some credit repair. And I have a great company for that. So go ahead and call me on that, 949-720-1616, or text the word Dino to 313131. I will put you in touch with somebody, and they work miracles. And you only have to get a little bit higher, and you can get yourself a good loan.
Okay. I went bankrupt 3 years ago and have since been married. We have about $40,000 for down payment, and our combined yearly income now is $85,000. My wife and I have little debt, and we have been employed by the same company for more than 5 years each. We also have credit cards that are relatively current. Can we get a loan?
Yes, absolutely. So the minimum after a bankruptcy is 2 years for an FHA loan, and you only need 3.5% down. So you have enough money down. You got good income. It sounds like you got good job stability. The only other thing that is kind of left out there is what your credit score is. There still has to be a minimum credit score. So if you're doing everything right after the bankruptcy, then I'm guessing you're good to go. And after 4 years, you can actually qualify for a conventional loan as well.
Oh, after a bankruptcy, how long does it take to build your credit back up?
If you know what you're doing, you can start immediately. Unfortunately, though, people don't get good advice, and even when they go to an attorney to file the bankruptcy, the attorney should offer some sort of counsel to really get him going again, because the most important thing after bankruptcy is starting over. And when you waste a year doing nothing after that, you've wasted a year.
Right. Okay, this is the last one. Can you negotiate the price of a bank-owned home? I'm trying to buy a Chase foreclosure with cash, but I don't want to haggle and lose the property.
Brian Liberto's laughing over here. Brian, you want to answer that question?
You can negotiate to get a bank-owned home, but you're going to have to take what the market bears. And most people buying bank-owned homes, the price of the home is actually 3 to 5% over what the asking price is. So be prepared to be competitive and release your contingencies on day 7 or 10. And a lot of investors are going off the same property. The market's hot.
I think Brian nailed it right there, and it's something that I'm hoping most people are figuring out now. This whole foreclosure thing, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's bank-owned or not. A price is going to sell. A home is going to sell for what it's worth. And what were your terms exactly? Like the house will bear what the market.
The house will bear whatever the market bears.
Yeah,
it is what
period.
it is. And there's plenty of buyers out there waiting to pounce on that property. Don't think the bank has no problem selling that property.
Well, guys, thank you. That's the end of our show today. If you're listening to Money Matters with Dino, you want to either get a hold of my guest that you heard today or myself, or just want to hear the show later in its entirety, you can look us up online at moneymatterswithdino.com, or you can call me at 949-720-1616, or even text the word Dino to 313131. I want to thank you, very big thank you to my expert panelists today, Jean-Michel from Emarcom and Brian Liberto from Versailles Properties. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Also, a very big thank you to my producer, Phil Giagrande, for doing all the hard work and making me sound good on the radio and giving me little signs when I start going the wrong way and all that good stuff.
I don't know what you mean.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really extra special appreciate everybody listening out there. It's why I love doing the show and I come here week after week. If you missed any part of this show, just go to moneymatterswithdino.com and it'll all be right there. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember, don't just get real estate rich. Get rich. Bye for now.